Today we have the Ernie Ball Music Man JP6 BFR. This thing is a gorgeous cherry burst with a quilted top, alder body, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, pearl inlays, and stainless steel frets, not to mention Schaller locking tuners. It actually has 2 output jacks as well for stereo and mono. You got your piezo system here where you can just have magnetic. You can blend magnetic and piezo and then just have the piezo. And then you can also have your 3-way selection, and you can coil split in the middle selection with the Crunch Lab and Liquefier pickups. We're going to check out how these pickups sound in cleans, leads, and distortion. I'm a huge fan of this guitar. I'm a huge fan of Ernie Ball Music Man. Those of you that watch this channel, that's no secret. This thing is one of the top tiers of guitars. It's the BFR, the Ball Family Reserve. And they don't do this cool little badge anymore in pearl. They just put BFR on the back plate where the body meets the neck. I kind of miss this. This was really cool to do. But that's just cosmetic. The feel of this thing, though, it's a super Strat. It feels so good with the stainless steel frets. The strings just glide. Just makes bends just so smooth. And speaking of smooth, this trem system's pretty good too. I'd be bold to say it almost feels a little bit better than my Majesty bridges. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, because they're essentially the same thing. But for some reason, this particular one is just very smooth. So the Crunch Lab and Liquefier, they're a classic pickup. They sound pretty cool, but in some settings, you may notice some muddy tone on the lower end. But on the right amp settings, this thing sounds killer regardless. It's a good variety of tone woods too. In fact, it kind of has a secret weapon a little bit too. These pickups are actually directly mounted into what they call a mahogany tone block. So you can't see it, but under this top, there's a block of mahogany for the pickups. I don't think the bridge is there, but maybe it is. I can't remember, but the picture of it, I could see that it's a mahogany tone block here with the alder body and then the maple. It's just a tone wood recipe, essentially. And some of the BFRs come with ebony, but a lot of them come with rosewood. So you're getting a rosewood fretboard on most of them. Ebony is my favorite, but it's a variation. So here's some rosewood. That's cool. So I've had this guitar for many years, and I've mostly kept it in standard just because it's one of the few guitars I have with the Crunch Lab Liquefier. So I thought I'd keep it in standard, but I really just got that itch to play in C standard. And there's some good Dream Theater in C standard. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'll just try putting this guitar in C standard. And on this amp, it's not disappointing. It's very heavy. Yeah, I'm not disappointed in that at all. This sounds pretty good. I don't know if people are going to be able to tell, but the quilted top on this moves with different lights. It's amazing. And yes, it has been signed. It was signed at a Guitar Center event at one of my local guitar centers in 2016. And that's where I got my first USA guitar in general. And then just by coincidence, a week later, John Petrucci was doing a signing. Coincidentally enough, too, is my first USA guitar was a John Petrucci. It was a JP11. Still have it to this day. I'll probably never get rid of it. And he signed my guitar, and he was very friendly, very kind. That was such a great experience. Someone that was in line at the same event was just a collector, and he wanted this guitar signed. And then, like under a year later, he decided to part with it because he wanted to get something else. So I managed to get a hold of it, And it's just kind of cool because now it's like I got two guitars from that same event. And the whole real reason why I bought this was I really liked this guitar when it first came out. I saw John Petrucci in a video where he's talking about dialing in his Mark V Boogie amp. And he's playing this guitar, and it sounded so good with all the stuff he was playing on it. So I really wanted the guitar really bad, but it just never happened. Happened to stumble across this eventually. And I was already in the market kind of for a 6-string version because my first Ernie ball was a 7. That's what I specifically wanted. And I was so impressed with the quality and feel and the sound of Ernie Ball Music Man instruments that I was thinking, I want a 6-string now. And this was kind of when the Majesties were already out, but I really wasn't interested in them yet until later on because I needed them to update some spec. Yeah, these things are killer. Just so many guitars from Ernie Ball Music Man. I'm definitely such a huge fanboy of Music Man. They've definitely earned my business, and I just love the feel and quality of these guitars. The JP models specifically, just because they're kind of more modern, spec'd out. But I'll play any high-end Ernie Ball, and I'm pretty impressed by the build. I even like the St. Vincent stuff. That's pretty cool. And even the Sterling, I noticed, is pretty decent. Especially some of them will come with stainless steel frets now. I was almost tempted on buying one of their Strats. It was like a copper color, and it had an HSS. Pretty much all in all, I'd recommend any of their guitars. Like, this is a cool one. The BFRs are tight. There's the JP15 that has illuminators with a active preamp, and obviously I love the Majesty, so I'd probably recommend the Majesty more than anything. But the BFR, I'm so glad that they're still manufacturing this guitar because I like the way they have the maple. Some of them come in flame, some of them come in quilt, and they're just gorgeous, gorgeous guitars.